Hey, Internet. Welcome to episode officially number 3 of Games on the Rocks. I am Stephanie Straw, and I have some Meeples included with us. Joining us in spirit, we'll say her first, is Suzanne Sheldon. She's totally here. But we also have the lovely Nicole Hoy.
How are you all?
Oh, us or them?
You guys. And them, I guess, whatever.
We good. What does your shirt say?
It says Forever Suze.
It's the cutest damn shirt.
Just
that
because,
is super cute.
Yeah. And also we have in this trio of wonderful Marguerite Cottrell.
Well, hi, everybody. Good evening.
You're so adorable. I just can't even.
Shut your face.
I was trying to change the settings so that you can't see my mouse, but there we go.
It'll be all right. We're not that high.
Now you can't see it. Now you guys can't see where I'm mousing around. Okay. So in this episode, and I'm so sad that Susan isn't here because she is very passionate about this episode, but we are going to be talking about what I've nicknamed travel top games. That is games that you travel with, games on the go. And appropriately, our featured cocktail I have in a to-go cup. Our featured cocktail tonight.
Mine is technically in a to-go cup if I put my mason jar lid on. So I just want to point that out.
So it is the Blushing Pig cocktail. It is kind of a nod to Oink Games, which is some of our favorite travel-sized tiny games in a fun-sized box. And that is 2 ounces of orange juice, 2 ounces of gin, 1 tablespoon of simple syrup, or you could just sweeten it if you want. 4 ounces of pink grapefruit juice, a splice of seltzer, a splice of seltzer, and then put all that in a travel cup and see if you guys can figure out what a splice is, basically.
We all have our theories.
We do. Mags, what's your theory on what a splice is?
My theory is that you pour a splash through some lace to strain it. You know, get the pulp out.
The
like
pulp
it.
Out of the seltzer, eh?
Interesting. Yeah. The seltzer
Wait, you don't make yours seltzer fresh?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, mine's totally bottled. I'm a fraud. I'm a fraud. What can I say?
Nicole, what do you think a splice is?
I think it's probably it's a dash of seltzer that has traveled through time and space to get to my beverage.
I like it.
Making it extra delicious.
This is an important seltzer, and you're just going to drink it.
I think a splice is you only add as much as you have space for. So it's like a splash, but only if you have space for it, because that's a pretty big cocktail.
Like you wait until you're toward the top of the cup.
It's a sipping cocktail for sure. It's a full drink. This is my Blushing Pig in here. There's a pig in there.
You put 6 ounces of juice in there. That's a lot of juice.
I doubled
that's
mine.
A lot of juice. I might have put a little less juice and a little more gin.
Mine has handy ounce labels up the side, so I was just like, jokey.
That is fantastic.
Yeah. I, of course, made a modified cocktail because I'm picky as sin, but this is grapefruit juice with gin, vanilla vodka, lemon juice, and macerated cherries.
Ooh,
it's really good.
Right? Mm. Why aren't you writing our recipes?
I used to be a chef and a mixologist and all that a long time ago.
Oh my
Maggie
goodness.
Bot, we need to be putting you to work. I'm just kidding. That's a total joke. Mags does 1,000,001 things for Meeples included.
Oh, good, more work.
All the things.
Yeah, she does all of the things for sure. So we didn't really have like a super huge outline of what we wanted to talk about, so why don't we go ahead, we'll talk about travel top games, but let's talk about games we've been playing first. So if there's games that don't fit into that category, we're still allowed to talk about those. So chat, have you guys been playing anything lately? Any favorites? Anyone get to play any of the Spiel des Jahres nominees / winners? So yeah, you guys definitely tell us what you've been playing. But Nicole, you just got back from a trip. Did you play anything down under?
I did play a few things, just the few games that I took with me, so I'll talk about those a bit in the travel section. I didn't really play a lot of games at all for 3 weeks. That was kind of tough for me. So I mostly played apps, honestly, and especially like that was really helpful on the plane. I played a bunch of Splendors, some Castles of Burgundy, Castles of Mad King Ludwig, and a little bit of Carcassonne. Those were just about my speed for travel and filling in time waiting for trains and planes and whatnot. So, and since I've been back, I really haven't played much, although I did get together with some of my Twitter pals on Monday night and got taught Millborn. I'd never played that before. It was really fun. And we saved some humans and animals from a fire in Flashpoint. It was pretty great. By the skin of our teeth. How about you, Steph?
So let's see. Recently, I played. I got to play Hansa Teutonica for the first time. Yeah, I hadn't played that before. So that's a fun game. So Aldi and I played that on Tabletopia together.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So so it was 2-player, and I've heard that 3 and 4 is much more magical in that game, which makes sense because it's a game where you're putting your merchants and traders into the city. You're like building kind of like a trade network. So that makes sense because some places will end up being more desirable and there'll be more of a fight for them. You can displace someone else's like Meeples kind of, and I can see where that would get pretty nasty in a 3 and 4-player game. But I thought that the 2-player was really good. And I enjoyed it, and I look forward to playing. I can't believe I haven't played it. You know, it's just one of those that like people talk about, but I've literally never seen in real life. I've never seen anyone pull that out in person, and I've never even. I don't think I've ever even seen anyone bring it, like the box.
I'm pretty sure I have it somewhere.
We've got it somewhere. We just have Runebound, as you can see over here. So yeah, so I got to play Hansa Teutonica, and I really liked it, and I'm looking forward to playing it again. I creamed Aldi, P.S. So.
Nice.
Mags, have you been playing anything?
I mostly played like kind of comfy, normal stuff that I knew for a while. So we played Ginkopolis and Power Grid. But I did get to play a preview of a game from Luda Creations called Crisis, and that was kind of a fun one. And it did that thing where you're playing a game and it has a mechanic, and you're trying to figure out what the other game is that you're thinking of that's sort of like that. And I still haven't figured it out. Even asked Twitter, like, any worker placement game where you can add more workers to make a power stronger. And everyone kept saying, oh, it's got to be Stone Age. But no, y'all, I've played Stone Age once.
Penny Press?
No,
Penny Press, you can do that.
It's got to be like it's got to be more on like the Hansa Teutonica, like.
That's not really a worker placement game, but yeah.
Well, but I mean, the length and pedigree of that game.
I'm trying to think if Keyflower does that.
Keyflower sort of does that.
Yeah, a little.
It's more like a bidding mechanism where you get stronger with the more workers that you use, but no, it's been bugging me for days now.
I'll never think of it. Maybe the chat can help us out.
I asked Twitter, and Twitter just said Stone Age, like literally.
Oh wow.
They all said it.
I guess kind of the Gallerist as well, like not necessarily placing things that once you have workers there, there's a better return.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Yeah, but it felt like it felt so familiar that it must have been a game I've played a million times and I'm just not thinking of. But otherwise, the game was very crazy. It's like a medium weight worker placement game where, as I said, you add extra workers to make powers stronger, but it has really crazy events, like really, really swingy, crazy events to deal with, and that was unexpected. I've not seen that much swingy card play in that kind of game before.
It
was interesting.
We're all like,
But I also got to play a lot of the Bloody Inn for some reason since the last time we chatted.
You know, and that's another. I still haven't gotten to play that
Yeah, me
either.
either.
So I don't know.
It's so light and simple and so fun and like short. It works really, really well before a regular game night.
It's certainly not because I don't want to play it. I just just haven't gotten to. I don't know if a lot of people here have it, like a lot of my friends and stuff.
My
I don't know.
pal Sean has it, and I know he reviewed it for the blog that we write for, but we have never actually played it together. So
Yeah.
maybe I'll get him to bring it next game night. We'll see.
Other than that, I don't think I've played anything that I haven't talked about. I can't think of anything. What about you, Nicole? Anything else? Down Under?
Well, if we want to swing into travel games, I could probably talk about that because everything I took was very travel friendly. So
we can totes swing into travel games. Are there
We
any
can travel into travel games?
Yeah, are there any Australian themed games?
the game Australia, obviously.
Obviously.
There's that Dingo's Dreams game.
Oh yeah, Wombat Rescue maybe.
There's a crazy Australian
You
map
can't
for Power Grid.
you can't just claim every game about wombats.
I mean,
Oh, Eggs of Ostrich is Australian, right?
Eggs of ostrich.
No, sweetie, no.
All the ostriches live in Australia, right?
Yeah.
That's
what they're called,
definitely true.
ostriches, for sure. Yeah, let's talk. What are some of your favorite travel games? Did you bring them with you to Australia?
Yeah, so what I did was actually, we have 2 copies of Codenames because why not? So I pulled out the insert from one, so it's just baggies with stuff, and it left a load of room to put other small games in, and was like just a good kind of size to pack in my suitcase. So I squeezed in Pairs and No Thanks and Warful Bonanza, which are fantastic travel games because they're such tiny little boxes, quick to teach, quick to play. I played some Warful Bonanza over some craft cider in Sydney, Australia. Was very nice. And also played a lot of Pairs, which was good because that's another, it's the size of a deck of cards, basically. And
which pairs? Is it like, because I know that some of them have different rules, right?
Ooh. Oh, really?
They all have the regular rules, and then each one that they produced had like a special set of rules.
I don't think I've ever played the special rules in that one. I just played the regular for it, just because it's. Oh, and we play the endless version where you don't restart every time somebody busts.
That one's way better.
Yeah, it just it makes it such a better experience for everybody. So that was super fun. I taught a bunch of non-gamers that. And yeah, Warful Bonanza was a hit. Codenames was great. It made it all very nice and compact, which was good. So that's what I took with me. I guess
you don't have to bring the whole box for Codenames, right?
Yeah,
you could bring some. Yeah, you could just bring some cards, or you can make that I'll put all my other travel games in this box.
Was my travel box basically.
Yeah.
It's not too big, really, and I fit.
Yeah.
This was 4 games to take with me, so it was pretty good. But
do you have a quiver?
No, I want one so bad.
So
I know what to get Nicole for Christmas.
I love Quiver, but I've actually told them now that I really wish they came in other colors.
Agreed. You should decorate it.
Twice I was traveling with a Quiver and someone thought it was a gun case.
Oh.
But if it came in hot pink with Hello Kitty on it, I would feel much more comfortable traveling.
I would actually think that it's definitely a gun case then. You should just put not a gun on the outside.
Full on nerding.
Yeah. Not weaponry.
Yeah.
Just right
the
on
case
there.
is super nice, but it does kind of look like a gun case.
Yeah, that's true. I've seen pictures on Twitter of people. You're a Gamer Girl, Sarah, posted a pic of hers today. And yeah, it definitely could be weaponry. But, you know, the only thing that's
People need to watch out then whenever I'm packing heat.
packing your
games.
cards. Exactly.
I haven't had anyone say anything like that to me, but I live in the South, so.
So they just assume it's a gun and that's fine.
Yeah, they were probably just like, cool, whatever.
You pack those cards, go.
You could put, I forget the card count for the quiver, but you could put like a ton of games in that thing, though.
It seemed like a lot. Like she had it maybe a third full, and it seemed like maybe half a dozen.
Mine is not full, and I'm okay with that because like I'll put other things in it. Like I'll put my phone here too, like a water bottle. Like it's my new backpack because I don't really carry a purse or anything, so
right.
It's like that's what I carry.
So one thing I'll say that people don't play a lot of Magic, but if you do play Magic or you know someone that does, Fat Pack boxes are one of my favorite travel items because they're really crush-proof. Because they have a slide-in box, so the corners won't stick. So I have packed this to Germany and back, and it comes back in exactly the same configuration. I really, really love them.
That's
I
smart.
usually bring like 6 of them.
So if anyone's interested, their website is quivertime.com, and I'll post a link in here.
Is that Quiver Time? Is that the same as the Quiver that was out before? Because then they have a new Kickstarter for like foam mats for your table. Is that right?
Really?
Yeah, they might.
Yeah, there's a new thing on Kickstarter from someone named Quiver, and it was like this foam mat for your table. I didn't realize that was the same person. I guess I probably should have.
It might be. Yeah, I don't know. But no, the Quiver is super sturdy, super awesome. Not a gun case. I guess could be a gun case if you want to put your gun in there, whatever.
My gun will be protected.
I put my games in there, so. So Nicole, you mentioned Wurfel Bonanza. I agree. Also a good travel game. It has dice, so some people are like, not necessarily a good while you're traveling game. I disagree. I've played it on the plane several times, and you just roll in the box. You just make that your dice rolling area is the lid of the box. So
roll right into that bean field there. Boom.
Yeah, roll right into the bean field.
Get it happening.
Definitely a little more challenging whenever you got to have the tray tables up.
Yeah.
But it's not impossible. I can make Wurfel Bonanza work anywhere. So. Another good travel game, obviously card games, kind of like you mentioned. I travel with Red 7 a lot because, again, it's just a deck of cards, so super easy. It's also not a lot of cards, and it's one of those games that, since it's a play this several times until you get to this score type of game, you actually get to play several games, so I think that you get a lot out of that game, even though it's just a deck of cards, so that's another one. Obviously, Oink Games, we talked about that. Oh my gosh. How is there so much game in those tiny boxes?
They're so wee.
I know, they're so wee. Deep Sea Adventure. Yeah, you could fit them in your mouth.
If I wanted to.
You could. You could do that. Deep Sea Adventure.
The way that they fit so many things in the box, like there's all of this business going on.
You do have to be a little bit strategic with A Fake Artist Goes to New York.
That's true.
But it's great to have a compact party game, I think. Like, party games should be travel-sized, right? Like, you don't want a ogre-sized box as your party game, right?
Unless it's like giant lifted or something like that, I guess.
I mean, that sounds amazing, but yeah. That's like a rent it from the publisher type thing. But yeah, Oink Games, awesome games. All of them that I am aware of are in that same size box, that same, like, it's like smaller than a cell phone size box. And there's tons of games in there. So, Nicole, you're holding up. Which two what do you have there?
Deep Sea and Deep Sea and Fake Artist.
Yeah. So those are the two that I have. And Mags, you played some of these recently? Which ones have you played recently?
I was at a board game swap, so I bid $30 on 4 of them, which is not a bad price, just so you know.
Whoa, that's
Yeah, because
incredible.
Yeah,
they're
importing those
usually
is like
22 bucks each.
Yeah,
Yeah.
somewhere in there. So I got
Wow.
Deep Sea Adventure, which I very quickly loaned out to a friend he's designing a submarine game. In a Grove, Dungeon of Mandem, which is not my favorite one, which was remade as Welcome to the Dungeon later, and one I can't remember the name, and it was really pretty, and I can't think of how it was pronounced at all. But before that, I had played Fake Artist Goes to New York and Deep Sea Adventure, and I played one that I really like. I can't remember the exact name, but it was like masks. It was like luchador masks.
Yeah.
Is that Trolls?
No, it was like something mask is what it's called.
Oh, okay.
It was a really neat, almost trick-taking game, and it like the mask on the outside of the pile told you what colors were valued. Like it was a really neat little card game. If I could find that one, I probably would want that one.
Yeah, I would like to pick up in a Grove, but
How many Oink games do you have now, Mags?
I'm up to 5, only 5.
oh,
Only 5.
there's not many more than that, is there?
There were only like 9, maybe 10.
They sell out. Fake Artist is available. Well, they're all available at the BGG store, but Fake Artist usually sells out almost immediately, like whenever they put it in there. And I think Deep Sea Ventures is another popular one. Suze actually bought a Fake Artist Goes to New York for me.
Oh.
Because I lamented on Twitter that it was no longer in the BGG store, and I was totes gonna grab it, and then Suze.
The best.
Suze sent it to me. Yeah, she is the best. I play it all the time.
Lucky it wasn't 6 copies of Lupin Chewy, is all I'm saying. It could have been.
I actually have 2 copies of Lupin Chewy because I want to morph them.
Goodness.
I want to do the
next one. Oh
layer. Yeah, that's my summer project.
Nice.
Is to do that. But that's not really a travel game.
No, not so much. It's a pity. So Yellow republished Welcome to the Dungeon, and it's significantly larger, obviously, than an Oink game. It's a pity they couldn't make it more travel sized. But I like that one. I've never tried the original version, but it'd be fun, I reckon. I like this one. So, but the thing is with travel games, it can be tough because they're so often lighter games, and that's why this guy is good. Because it is definitely travel size. Like
Mags probably has hers near. Oh my gosh, you guys are insane. I can't. Hold on, let me pull mine out.
So I mean, it's almost exactly the same size as Waffle Bonanza and No Thanks. It's full of cards, and it's by a great designer, and it is like a great little card Euro in a travel-sized box. So if you're looking for something that plays, longer than 30 minutes, then.
Nicole, have you played the new rule set? Because I don't know anyone that's played the new rules.
Yes. Where you you can discard and redraw.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's good. It makes it a lot less frustrating when you just have like a giant handful of stuff you can't use, because the way that the stuff you're drawing comes out, like it's not useful. So it kind of mitigates that, which is nice. So it's such a great game. So good. Ugh.
And what's nice is that Pfister, like, he's had such a great year. Like Mombasa and Isle of Skye both coming out within a year of each other. Yeah. That I think Oh My Goods actually got kind of overlooked. Because his other 2 games were getting such accolades that you're like, wait, but it fits in this tiny little box, like this thing I have.
Sometimes the tiny boxes get overlooked because there's not a lot of game there. That's a tiny box.
Tiny box equals junk, like for the most part.
Yeah.
But I think whenever I find one like Oh My Goods, it's not as much game, but Sail to India was another one that I used to carry around because it was like so much Euro in a tiny little box.
Really
I have that, and I haven't brought that out in a while. Another one is what else? So the other concern with travel games is not just size, but like components and losing components. So, like Province is one that I used to travel with a lot because it's kind of like what you guys were talking about. Like it's a lot of game, I think, for that tiny little box. And it's kind of the perfect little two-player Euro-y feel type game. But if you lose those components, though. Which I almost did one time. I was searching for one of the little houses I had lost, and I found it in my bathroom, question mark, not sure how that got in there, but it was in my bathroom. But yeah, so that's a game that I'll travel with, but I don't want to travel, like I'll travel locally with it, but I don't travel long distance with it a whole lot. Yeah. For one, if I'm traveling long distance, like usually stuff that I'm going to play is more than two-player anyway. So I try not to bring a lot of two-player only games. So that's one reason. But then, yeah, I don't want to lose any of the pieces. So.
Yeah.
Well, that's something I was going to actually ask you. I was going to ask, do you all ever bring travel games that are actually built for, like, the travel to or from a thing, like two-player games or single-player games that are just designed to get you on the plane or the train or whatever you're taking? Because I always wonder about that, because I usually plan for the event itself, like when I'm there I'm going to want these 5 games, but I never really think about the plane on the way.
Yeah.
I'll bring Sylveon or Friday with me, and I'll play those on the plane.
Yeah, I just have my tablet. Like I don't really.
Yeah, or I'll play 1,005 games of Ascension and or Lords of Waterdeep.
But only if you're feeling like you want to lose or win, right? Choose your app.
But yeah, like I very rarely am traveling with somebody to a con. And if like the only time I think I've traveled with people to a con is to a gathering, and that's like less than a 2-hour drive for us from Toronto. So we usually just listen to some board game podcasts and chat about games, really.
I got really lucky in that the person sitting next to me on the plane as I was coming home from Origins was totally into games, like didn't play a lot of board games, but was familiar with them, and then played Werewolf Bonanza and Red 7 with me.
Hey, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, that doesn't happen often. I actually usually don't talk to the person next to me.
Yeah, me
I usually have headphones in, and so I'm very unapproachable looking, and I have colored hair, and I'm like insane, so they don't approach me. And then I have that thing that looks like a gun bag, right? Or a gun carrier.
Right.
So,
Totally.
I've actually never brought my quiver with me on a plane, so that's definitely something I hadn't thought about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Magic
Sets and Quiver both got me pulled out of line at an airport.
Really?
Yeah, I can imagine that for sure. Mine was my shampoo, but whatever.
Wow. I mean,
well, you shouldn't be bringing.
That hair's dangerous, girl. I mean, come on.
This hair, it's hard to maintain.
Mm-hmm.
So other travel games. So I actually have like Travel Quirkle.
Oh,
which
yeah,
is really good because, like, because actual Quirkle is, who's getting arrested? Is that Nicole or Max?
Oh, it's not me.
No, that's me, sorry. I closed all my windows. I'm just right on a road.
Because Quirkle is, like, huge, right? It's, like, big honking thing. But Travel Quirkle is, like, this big, and it's in a little kind of, like, cloth zip bag, and I really like it. Actually, I don't own the regular size Quirkle. I just own the travel one, so I just like play that at home too.
That is your regular Quirkle.
Yeah, that is my regular. But I do love that they make travel-sized versions of games, and I almost wish that they would do that for more games, like they have Travel, Mastermind.
Well, they did Pocket Hive, which is great.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Hive is not giant, but it's because those tiles are so hefty. Like, the zippy bag thing is, like, super heavy if you're going to take it somewhere with you. So if you get Pocket Hive, it's, like, in this nice little drawstring bag, and it's way less cumbersome, which is nice.
About a year and a half ago, Corey Young was on Twitter tweeting, "Hey, would anyone like this travel gravwell that looks?" And he showed a picture.
One?
Yeah, he showed a picture of like this wood-carved gravwell that was a little thing with cribbage pegs in it. And I would kill a man for it at this point.
I know.
And he never mentioned it again. I'm assuming some game company was like, yeah, we're going to do something with that, and then they never did or something. I don't know where it is, but I want it.
I don't know,
so bad.
but I too want this thing very badly.
Right? Like,
because
with a little
amazing.
pocket
And
in
I
the
love
bottom for the
Gravwell.
cards.
That's cool.
But that's a good idea. Like, people that are watching right now or later, if you are crafty and can make things and you know, make your own awesome, like, geek chic table or whatever, if you can make travel-sized versions of games, like, with pegs and stuff like that, so that, components don't go everywhere.
Yeah.
Holy goodness, I will buy these things, and other people will buy these things. For sure.
Well, I think like 3D
Broken
printing
Token should they should like get up in that, like making
or 3D
boards and
printing like smaller components and stuff like that on your own, so you can bring some of the original game and then customize stuff for it. I think would be awesome.
Yeah, what's Eric playing says that they're also concerned, and that's why they don't bring Tiny Epic games anywhere, because they are tiny and they're travel-sized, but
they go bits.
almost all of them, all the ones I'm thinking of have a ton of bits, a ton of components, and you definitely don't want to lose those, so I can understand that. Mauve Alert, which is Nicholas, said, note to self, visit Stephanie and leave random games in bathroom. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But then did you see what Beth said after that? Beth is like, no, just regular like cubes and weird stuff. Like,
just
sprinkle components around the house. What is this from? Oh my god.
Speaking of, I found a die, and some of you might have seen Board Game Geek tweeted about it, but I found a die in my bag that I like bring to all the conventions and stuff, but I found it at my house and I just put it in the bag because I was like, I don't know what this is from, like, and I cannot figure it out. And so I think we finally identified what it's from. It's from a game that I do not possess or own, so I don't know how it entered my household. Maybe Aldi will remember if Aldi is in the chat.
I'm super excited to see this die now.
Yeah, I'll have to show it. Aldi might remember, but it was stumping a lot of people. Like, people could not figure it out. It has like blood droplets on one side, and then like an axe or something crazy on the other side. And I forgot what it was too, but it was something really, really weird. And I was like, I've never possessed that game or seen that game, so I don't know why.
How weird.
That dies in my household, but I love that that's a thing that you can do, though. Like, if you find a component to a game, you can be like, I don't know what game this is to, and you can just post it on the internet and then crowdsource the answer.
Yeah, back in my social media running days for Board Game Cafe, we used to do that, like, because I'd be basically at the end of the night sweeping up lost pieces, and so just for fun, we'd post on Twitter, be like, hey, what's this? Can you identify this game? And it's a really fun way to see, like, when you focus down on this, like, narrow little tiny part of a game, what people can recognize. It's super fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm actually pretty good at it. Some people try and test me, and I'm like, life counter from Tail Feathers, and they're like, how did you know that?
Boom.
They're very specific looking. Go ahead, Max. Okay, Aldi's going to try and find it. Okay.
Oh, nice. We did the same thing when I was working retail at the game store. They wouldn't do them as they found the pieces. They would just put them in a glass, like a tumbler. Yeah. And then about once a week, I would dump out this tumbler and start identifying games.
And you would just be like, Lords of Waterdeep.
Yeah, and I mean, some of them are pretty obvious, and then sometimes they're just a green cube, and you're like, okay, really hope at some point I count the cubes in something.
Yeah.
Because you're looking at a 500 game library, and you're just like, nope, not going to do that.
Put it in King of Tokyo. It's an energy cube.
I was gonna say, like, that's the only identifiable green cube.
Well, that
But
one's clear.
those cubes
and
are
green.
another stuff. Yeah.
The like wooden cube with just like the regular green outside. You're like, well, it could be lots of things. I at least know what size it is. That tells me a few. But...
So I have a missing components thing, and it's in my guest bathroom. I don't know why, but it is. That's just where it started, and that's where it is now. So if you find a piece in my house, because I host like a lot of game nights and stuff, if you find a piece in my house, you put it in the little thing in the guest bathroom, but separate from the bathroom where I found the other component. There's a lot of bathroom gaming at my house.
Obviously.
But yeah, no, that's just where I put them. Like when I'm like, okay, well I know what this goes to, but I don't want to like get that out right now. I'll get that out later. So I put them in there. Right now there is a Tail Feathers life counter, a Hero Quest bench piece.
Wow.
And a black D6, and I don't know where that came from.
That could be anything, really.
Yeah.
I have been carrying around a key from the Bloody Inn in my bag for like 3 weeks until the other night when we played it, and I finally remembered to bring it back out. But most of the time I find them in my purse. I don't know what I do and why game pieces end up there, but that's where they are.
Okay.
We still have like a random bit of Jenga from back when we were working at the board game cafe. Like, just a bit. Like, we don't own Jenga, but we have like one Jenga.
You just have
piece.
a little Jenga cube,
Yeah.
a little Jenga block.
Yeah,
So Aldi says it was.
Continue getting them.
Aldi says the die that I had is a promo from Danger Dinosaur.
I don't know what that game is, but I need to play it.
Right?
I feel like that
It
might have been
has
someone
bones on
saying,
it.
Steph, you really need this promo for the game that you're going to buy. And then you're like, sure do.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay. Yeah, it has bones. Okay, he posted an image of it.
Oh, I need to try this thing.
Yeah, I forgot that part. Yeah, the die had like bones on it and like blood on one
they
side.
look so
Yes, that's it. And
cool.
gears. Yes, that's it. That's the die.
Oh, amazing.
I'm going to say that game title has an exclamation point. It's not for me.
Oh,
Put that out there.
Come on.
No,
Come on.
time's up. Time's up has an exclamation.
Yeah. No thanks is the one exception. Dungeon has an exclamation point.
Oh wait,
Max.
look at.
Did it have an exclamation? Yay! We're starting to win them back.
The exclamations are taking it over. Punctuation is bringing it back to the good side.
Man, but yeah,
that is a sweet die. Maybe I should give it away. Daniel, do you want that die?
I feel like you're gonna play the game and then wish you had the die again.
Am I gonna play that game?
I think
I don't
we
know.
need to find it and
It has an
play it.
exclamation point in it.
It does have an exclamation point in it. Cashmere really wants to be on camera, so I just have to.
Oh, hi, Baba.
She wanted to be on camera super badly. She's been wanting it. She's. That was her jumping.
Wow.
That
See you
was
later.
incredible.
Life. That's
feel
life
like-
with me.
I feel like to tie into tonight's drink,
Yay!
this
The
is
blushing pig.
this is another of my favorite travel games.
Oh yeah.
So good. I own Pick a Dog as well, but I grabbed this off the shelf because Blushing Pig.
Yeah.
This one is super fun, and a lot of these games are ones that I will take to like a work event, because like I don't want to take like loads of stuff to work with me, and
Right,
they're all usually like fun and quick and easy to teach and play. So this one is super great, and like I mean, you could even probably, I mean, the box is mostly insert around the cards. The cards are this tiny, so you could probably put it in your quiver or in your pocket or whatever, and take that. That's definitely one of my favorites to take with me. And it's so adorable. I love it.
So anyone that hasn't played a Pick-a game, there's Pick a Pig, Dog, Polar Bear, and Seal.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I got told by Eagle Griffin that they're never going to remake Seal or Polar Bear, which I'm pretty upset about.
Oh no.
Because those are the ones that we could never get in stock until I had a friend that finally started working at Eagle Griffin and started like selling us games.
Yeah.
But those are the ones I wanted.
Oh
But
man,
it's a,
I gotta go to my local game store because I remember seeing at least Polar Bear on the shelf. So I wonder if they still have it.
That's upsetting. But it's like a matching game, and I've had really good luck taking this to like public nights where maybe people aren't going to be gamers, but you can still maybe get them to play games over drinks. And so we would put the cards out, and I am unfortunately a savant at that game, so I can't play. But I would teach it to people. Well, you want me to pick up half the deck, and I will. That game is my game.
Pig with popcorn.
There's another cat.
Pig with water. Pig with sunglasses. Boom, boom, boom.
Exactly. Such a good game, and it's so good for like everybody. There's no crowd that's not good for, except for maybe very stodgy Eurogamers. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I've tried to play that with non-gamers who are just like flustered by the pace of it. Same goes with like Ghost Blitz. It's tough for some people to just keep up with that, I think.
The chat is hysterical right now with punctuation in games. Like, Lords of Waterdeep? Mysterium? Blood? Raids?
The networks! Okay, that's all good.
Yeah, so funny. Timeline.
Very insistent about
No one wants Pass the Pigs. No one wants it. Not a single.
Those pigs are pretty cute, though.
Those pigs are adorable.
But it's rolling the pigs. There's no actual like choice after that.
Oh no.
Max, come on.
There's no choice.
It's fun.
Maggie. Maggie bot. It's not roll and move. It's just roll and roll.
Yeah. Pig and roll.
Roll and write. Just roll and write it down.
Roll and snort. Roll and pig.
Timeline those are good games
to
travel with also. My favorite one is Timeline Inventions.
Me too. Yay.
And it's my favorite because you can figure out like when other stuff probably was based on other stuff that's revealed. Like if paper, was at a certain invented at whatever time, then you know that something on paper is going to be after that. So, because some of the other ones are like totally random, but they're fun though. They're just harder, I think, for people. There's so many of them now.
Yeah, there are, and it's funny. Like, I tried to get to a few game cafes and stores while I was in Australia. So I popped into one called the Games Laboratory in Melbourne, and they are like a friendly little game store with space to sit and play for like a gold coin donation, so like $1 or $2. And then in the evening they have a little bar downstairs that opens up, and they had a small library which had a bunch of timelines. So I sat down with my best friend and we played the music and movies one, I think it is.
Yeah, music and cinema. Yeah.
Yeah, he beat me like 8 games in a row.
I mean, because if you have someone that knows all that stuff, yeah.
Or if he didn't know, he was like a savant at guessing.
And that's where the game.
Yeah, I had no idea.
That's where the game is not is less of a game and it's more of like an activity. But I'm okay with that. I'm just fine with that. It's a fun thing for everyone to do. I guess a gamier game would be like Fauna, right?
Yeah.
Of that same vein, but still, if
they did make a timeline board game. I don't know what it's
the
like.
Challenges?
Yes.
I like challenges a lot.
Yeah.
I haven't tried it.
It made Timeline into a real game for me, whereas I would have considered it a good like filler before or after type thing. I would have considered it like a light game to play with people who like trivia once you added the challenges in.
Yeah. But I definitely like to pull out Fauna as like a quick filler. And I got Terra as well. It was one of my games that I was propping my computer up tonight. I just really I just love this.
I think you just have games like all of your games are just like right there.
Well, I was propping my laptop up with that one, to be fair.
And I totally do that. I use Forbidden Stars. Forbidden Stars is my laptop prop game.
Yeah. underneath right now is Fauna and Spirium, which is just the right height. So.
Ooh, Spirium. Yeah, I want to talk about turning games that really aren't travel games into games. Like Dixit, I feel like is not really a travel game, but I've totally traveled with it. It just like forego the bunnies and the chart, and then just bring the cards, and then you can like take, score on a piece of paper or something.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can use dice to like count, like a spin down or something like that to count.
Well, also there's like a couple of good scoring apps depending on if you're
right
on Android or iOS, so that helps as well. Because like really, I mean that would just be like a chunk of cards like that, and that's about it.
Right.
And it doesn't really need much space when you're actually putting stuff out either, so that helps. Because like Codenames is small once you pack it all up, but you need that space for the grid of cards when you're actually playing it.
Right, and you also need perspective, kind of, like, because you need the two Codemasters have to be like blocked, and they need to always be able to see the card.
Yeah.
So
you can't really sit next to each other on a plane.
You can. You can actually play two-player Codenames on a plane pretty easily.
Okay.
Yes. Two-player Codenames, you automatically turn over, after every turn, you automatically turn over one thing for the other. You're playing together, so you're on the same team. You automatically turn one over for the other side, so, yeah.
Huh.
So the Codemaster will automatically turn one over for the other team, and then they're giving the clues to the other person.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. Well,
I'm a loser and don't have a lot of friends, so I have to play a lot of these.
I knew that was a two-player variant, but I just have never tried it. So
yeah, Eric and I have played before, and it's funny because I'll do something like Eric and I are best friends, obvi, and I'll be like, oh, best friend joke, best friend inside joke, like he's gonna get this for sure, and then I do something crazy like connect like tuna and lion and cop from like a movie that we've watched together, and he like won't get it, doesn't get it.
That's because that's crazy.
It's literally not crazy. It's in the other guys, and it's about a tuna fish killing a lion. Okay, and it's relevant.
That's interesting.
I do usually recommend whenever we play Codenames with people, I'm like, easy on the movie references because not everyone has seen Anastasia 100 times and will get all of those connections that you make to that movie. What do you mean you don't know what that is?
I don't know what that is. What's Anastasia?
Yeah, the most like backward time I've ever had giving clues in Codenames, we had board game boxes out, and I had assumed so much knowledge from people because I love backstories. I love how did this game get produced and what's the wacky story behind it and how did it get named? And so my little brain could not separate that knowledge from what most people should know about a game. So I kept saying things and then going, no one's gonna understand, and no one did. It was horrible.
I can barely remember how many people a game plays by looking at the box. Really bad at retaining that kind of knowledge.
That's in my job.
Literally none of these games behind me are good travel games.
I mean,
none of these.
Most of my games are behind me, to be fair. But I gotta say, the line of small box games that Z-Man have been putting out, those are pretty good.
Like Arboretum Parade, that kind of that small box?
Yeah, this size.
Yeah, yeah.
That's good. That's a good travel size, which is nice.
I had archaeology in my purse for 2 months. It was
you know what I want them to make a travel size version of is Rapello.
Oh.
But I know that will change the game because the board will have to be smaller.
Right.
I'm just glad you mentioned the game because it makes me happy every time you do.
Yeah, so Rapello is a game that Mags taught me whenever I was in Seattle, and actually, I have it over here. I could grab. I have games at my fingertips too, guys.
Mine is way
I
over
could grab.
there.
And this is a really cool game. So first of all, there are these little pieces in it that are just so much fun because you stack these discs on this little rod that holds them until you press it down on the game board, and then it releases one of the discs. So in this game, yeah, you're moving a certain amount. You're moving your pawn a certain amount, and whenever you move, you leave one of your discs. And the game sounds like you're repelling, right? There's not actually magnets in it, but you are kind of pretending like a lot of the pieces in the game are magnets. So they'll operate in a way that they'll detract and they'll like go opposite. So you'll be moving things. The goal of the game is to move these coins off the board, and when you do, you get them. So you want to like move to where you can push the coin off and then you can get it. But then if you push someone else off, seriously, the cats love jumping in front of the camera for some reason. If you push someone else off, you get to steal one of their coins, and there are different currencies. There's like, I guess the silver are single, and there's like 1 or 2 gold that are like 5.
There's 1 gold, 4 silver, and then a bunch of black.
Oh, wow.
That's it. Yeah.
Huh.
So yeah, super cool game, a lot of fun, very underrated. Literally nobody talks about it. Literally the only one person that I've ever heard talk about it is Mags. So,
when you said Rapello, I thought it was going to be some kind of magnet game because we've got one. It's called Polarity.
No, it's not that. No.
Yeah, I was like, oh, is it the magnety thing? No, obviously not.
So
this is
there are magnety games. There's like Jishaku, which is magnety, and then there's all those like attraction games.
This is Rapello, the game. So see these little things. These little things leave these little discs.
Yeah.
And so here's like what the board looks like.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you start something, and then you could make like all of this crazy things happen. So.
It's like chain reactions upon chain reactions. It's so much fun. And Mind Twister Games, by the way, Mind Twister is the company that makes that.
Yeah.
They made like this crazy one with these lily pads that were like these rubber lily pad things. And then the other night I got to play a new one called 7 Card Samurai, and it had giant Dixit-side gorgeous cards in it.
Huh.
Like I don't know what they're doing where no one knows about their games, but I really wish they had better marketing.
That's unfortunate, but sounds cool.
So, I wonder that sometimes, like games like Warful Bonanza, like why is that not U.S. distributed?
Well,
Although we have some answers at least at this point.
Yeah, Amiga was like, we're working on it.
Well, okay, so its rights got left behind when Bonanza got purchased. So when they got their North American distribution rights purchased, the DICE version did not come with it. And so you can purchase a very legal copy that is produced for anywhere but except for the United States for like $15 plus shipping. And they have not figured out what partner they could do that with in the United States, which would hopefully be Mayfair, I think, has Bonanza's license right now. But Mayfair doesn't really care about stuff. So
and adding like another
I don't
thing.
think. Yeah, it's a lot of work. They're like, that's so much work. Let's just do Catan.
No.
They don't have Catan anymore.
They don't have Catan
I know.
Catan Studios does.
But like, I feel like there are loads of expansions for Bonanza on shelves right now, and this would be such a great addition because it's tiny.
Better than Ladies and Gangsters, let me tell you that.
Yeah.
Or Pirates.
Yeah, those are all the ones I see. I'm like, I don't feel like I need to try that at all.
No one wants that.
No. But it's funny, there are some games, like this is definitely travel sized. I don't feel like regular Bonanza is. Like you could put it in a quiver, but the size that it takes on the table, probably not. Like that's why, Castle of Burgundy, the card game, is in a little tiny box, but like it takes up more room than the regular game.
Yeah, right.
So
Like
sometimes
Seven
scaling down
Wonders.
the game isn't
Seven
really
Wonders
scaling
Duel.
down the game. Yeah.
Yeah, Seven Wonders Duel, more room.
More. Whereas like there are some games that are already small. Like Anomia is a tiny little box with 2 packs of cards, and I noticed like
Yeah.
there are a bunch of people mentioning it in the chat, and it is a really great travel game. And they upscaled that to Anomia Party, so there's like 6 or 8
Six,
in that box. And then another one I wanted to mention is one of my favorite travel games is Sushi Go, because it's in a nice little
Yeah, I love the tins.
so it's durable and it's small and it's easy. But they've just come out with Sushi Go Party, which is like
Oh
a
my
version.
gosh.
I need
More
to try
people,
it.
more stuff. Yeah.
I'm so excited to try that game.
Amazing. No, Sushi Go Party is so amazing. Not as travel, but
No, it's
still
not as
travel.
But
Travel.
yeah, I'm super psyched to try that out. I really want to see what all the cool new cards do and stuff. So
Oh yeah, they're so awesome.
yeah, I might have to pick up a copy, or if I don't, hopefully I'll get to play it in Indianapolis. So we'll see.
Cockroach Poker, another good travel game.
Yes.
I travel with that one a lot. The only thing that I am scared about constantly with Cockroach Poker is losing a card.
Right.
Because the game still playable, but
Well, you
obviously
kind of need to know what's out there, yeah.
Yeah. So, but the way that I play the game, so some people play the game where they will literally pass out all of the cards. I pass them all out equally, and
Yeah.
then the remainder
the
I
rest.
take out of the game, and so you don't know what's like not in the game. So that's
what I
how I
did
play
too.
it. So losing a card, not that bad, but I would prefer not to.
Yeah.
I can't travel with Cockroach Poker because I'm a little bit too sharky in that game, so I tend to just leave that one at home.
You're too sharky? Is that your like cool Marguerite way of saying I win at that game always?
It's not a fun win though. It's like it's not a game that I pleasantly win at. It
She's
is a
brutal.
game that I latch onto the 3 people I can read at the table and make them pay, and it just doesn't work out. I prefer Skull and Roses if you're gonna go for a travel game that's like super portable.
Oh yeah,
Like-
that's true.
That is true because you can target people in Cockroach Poker, and as long as you target someone, if they lose, then they lose, right? So
It's just not as fun. It's more fun with your friends
Yeah.
in Cockroach Poker for me. Skull and Roses I've had better luck at than Cockroach Poker because it's just so hard to read people when you don't know them, and it's
That's true.
much better in a new crowd.
I am easily read and still play Cockroach Poker all the time. It was really bad actually at Geekway. We were playing the copy that I brought, and people were like rooting for me because I was so fucking terrible at that game. They were like,
Oh boy.
everyone, like people I had just met were like, okay, she's garbage at this game. I'm like, shut up! I've won this game before. Done on occasions. I can win this game. That was not the first time I played. Whenever Max taught us during the Extra Life stream, and Suzanne just did that, like repeated over and over. Like
It's a bat, it's a bat, it's a bat, it's a bat.
or no, I did it to her, and she called it like every time because I'm the worst liar ever.
That's amazing.
Yeah, lost that game. So I wish that they had something like this game, Enigma. Have you guys
Yeah,
played Enigma?
No.
So I wish that they had something that felt like this game that was a travel version, because not only is the box like it's kind of like a normal sized game box, like kind of big, like Rapello, like I just showed, so it's kind
It's
of
a
big.
Fantasy
but
Flight medium box, right?
there's a lot to there's a lot to it though. So actually I have it over here too. So I have games.
Mine is far away. I could see it. You know what I'd like? I would like a travel
Oh.
sheriff of
I just
Nottingham, but
I
finish your
want
thought.
I want a game like this that has like all of these different puzzles and stuff. Like I want like a puzzly
Huh.
game like this, in a travel version. That would be amazing. I
I
would
guess
totally
the
play that.
closest that comes to like a travel puzzly sort of thing is Suro.
Yeah, and that's like no.
It's
not really.
puzzle light, but
Yeah.
still, you could probably pack that down pretty small.
I think in a very abstract way, Motainai works as kind of a travel puzzle game.
Yeah.
You abstract it twice, and then it's just in that vein where if you are good at puzzles, you're gonna probably be okay at Motainai, but it doesn't have that many components or anything. It just is like really hard to get into, which Enigma is kind of hard to get into.
So what's your okay? So you can only take one game with you. What game are you traveling with? Nicole, go. One game.
Probably Codenames.
Is the game gonna be Nicole has an emotional breakdown? It's gonna be what? It's gonna be Codenames.
It's probably gonna be Codenames, just because it's really interactive and fun and just easy to get people into.
Endless amount of people, because you can essentially have like it has a number on the box. I think it has a limit, but there really is no limit.
Yeah.
Like you can just have 1 million people on one side and 1 million people on the other side. So
I think
Mags,
that would.
Codenames is good. Mags, what's yours?
Is a deck of cards cheating?
No.
Just
no. I would just have a deck of cards with me. I always have a deck of cards with me. Like no matter where I am.
I did not know that.
I think every like poker like deck of cards, every deck of cards in my house is missing cards.
What? What are you doing with your decks of cards?
They're probably in the bathroom somewhere. I don't know.
Maybe Max stole them. I don't know. Like,
Maybe.
She's got a pack of cards on her at all times.
Yeah, I definitely noticed I haven't mentioned Mafia de Cuba as a good travel game.
It came up in chat. Don't you worry.
It was mentioned in chat. Thank you, chat. Love you, chat. Chat's got my back on those 3 diamonds they're missing.
I stole them really good.
Is it 2? I mean, like.
It was 2, and they were in a gum case, and then my partner threw them away. The worst day.
Worst day of my life is the day that I lost.
The worst thing. I will say there was a little card game that came out a few years back that if I wasn't planning on being at a con, if I was just traveling for traveling, I would bring Gosu with me most places. I don't know if you guys played that one before, but it's an interesting little 2 to 4 player card game from a game company called Moonster. But yeah, they Korean design and they're French, and then they put out games. It's a really weird operation. I don't know how it works, but they put out the original Gosu, and I would play that with pretty much any gamer. It just works so well. I'm staying away from the chat now.
Yeah, no, they're fine. They're just saying toilet tank solitaire.
Oh, no.
That's a thing I've done. I've totally played games in the bathroom by myself. TMI all comes out right here.
So you play like Airplane, where it's like all in your hand, or do you have to have like solitaire, like out on the tank?
I don't know that we want to like get into details. I think that just the admission is enough for now. I think we'll just leave it at that. I avoid airplane bathrooms at all costs. BT dubs.
Wait, they're asking me what do I play with a deck of cards. Depending on the number of players, I could play any number of games, but we generally would default to spades or oh hell or just something easy to teach.
Crazy euchre?
It's a deck of cards. You can play anything. Euchre works really beautifully with a deck of cards. And to be honest, if I'm in Seattle, I have 2 decks of cards, so I can bump up to any number of players.
Euchre? Is it euchre that's like super Canadian and everybody in Canada?
Not Canadian, Midwestern as far as I know, like Michigan.
I think it might be like a super Canadian, like, or at least Ontario thing as well then.
I'm wondering if this is going to be the stream that Mags pulls out like a second secret cocktail. that was like
Oh my
already
God.
ready or something.
This.
It's gonna be every time now. She's
It
prepared
was
as
way
hell.
funnier the first time, though.
Don't you doubt her preparing, all right?
I don't doubt it. I will literally never doubt it. I will never doubt it. Never doubt it. What game could we fit in this travel thing? Let's see.
Gidget. No.
Like, you could fit a dice game in there, like the Zombie Martian something dice.
Oh, yeah.
Roll two.
Yeah.
I played that Dice of Crowns thing that was on Kickstarter. It was alright.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Oh, what is going on with the cat now?
I know, she was in my earbuds. I'm trying to look at another good game. So this is a good, like, it's small and travels well, and it's easy to teach and it's quick. But Diner by Dice Hate Me Games, the division of Greater Than Games, is actually a really good travel game. It is one of those games where you need a surface to play, though, so it's not like travel as in car or airplane, like actually while you're traveling game.
But transportable.
But yeah, but very transportable and easy to like whip out. Like very important to me. Like the BGG flea market, the line for that is always super long, right? So we bring games with us. So
Yeah.
this is a game that I would play in line, waiting for the BGG flea market to open. Is Diner, and because you're like yelling things, and you're like burger pancake, and you're like moving cards around, and it's ridiculous. So
Ooh, that sounds like fun.
it's like a crowd. It's a crowd game, you know. It's
Right.
a game where people are like, "What are they playing? That's so weird.
Yeah.
Why are they saying? Why are they saying salad, bacon, eggs? Like, why are they saying that?"
I'm just trying to remember what I played in line for BGG registration last year. I'm sure it was all like small space, transportable. I can't even remember.
Okay, so I try not to harp on this every time there's an episode where this should be there, but Oddball Aeronauts is one of the best line games that's ever been
That was the
produced.
one I was literally about to mention that earlier, and then I got distracted because chat said something hysterical. But yeah, I was gonna say that one.
So Oddball Aeronauts had this weird thing where it came out right in the middle of like that big Kickstarter boom,
Yeah.
and it was a two-player game where you played it all in hand, and it had this like nice trick-taking feel to it.
Ooh.
But it got kind of labeled as a Kickstarter game, and then no one really bought into it. And so now I'm sitting here with my like 3 beautifully built decks, and no one ever plays.
Did
And
it get a retail release?
it did in the UK, like a big one, like the version of like
okay.
in the UK, Barnes and Noble, like whatever their version of that is, they had the copies. But
Waterstones?
here, only 2 distributors of the 7 big ones picked it up, and it didn't really sell. And it was unfortunate because it's gorgeous art. It
Right.
was like 2 brothers, and they were super cool, and they would teach you the
Yeah.
game over Skype. So I always had like this huge soft spot in my heart for them.
Yeah, I never saw it up here. So like I saw you and Tiffany Ralph talk about it a lot, and I just
Tiffany, I think, taught that at the carnival in her video.
I think
Oh.
Tiffany is the the Oddball Aeronauts prophet, like
Yeah.
a wonderful Bonanza prophet.
Have you heard the word of the Oddball Aeronaut? Let me
That's-
tell you.
Doesn't sound like Tiffany at all. That doesn't sound like Tiffany at all. But
She's like from Colorado, yeah? Like-
What accent is
Isle of Trains. So Beth Sobel brings up Isle of Trains. That's another good one. Since
Yeah,
it's
Nicholas could have
just
mentioned
a
that.
deck of cards, but you do have to have some space in front of you because you're building your train. So
Yeah.
good to travel with. Could play on a train, for sure.
Well, there was a new one. There was John Gilmore and Ed Barrett had like a trick-taking game, like Heroes and Tricks or Tricks and Heroes, and that one was all played in like a little box.
Oh.
So that will be a big like line game once it comes out.
Herbaceous, I think you could play. It has a small footprint too. Also by Ed Baroff.
You know what's a good line game? Dino Twist.
Illustrated by Beth Sobel in the chat.
That's right. And it looks gorgeous, and it's not about
does.
fighting or killing people. It's about herbs. It's awesome.
It does look gorgeous. It looks really amazing. There are so many. Is there a travel game category on Board Game Geek?
Yeah, board game.
I don't know.
Oh, I know. The best travel game that takes up the biggest footprint. Iota.
The
That's
best,
like
yeah.
a little tiny box, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Sail to India too, though, is like
Yeah, but Iota's bigger.
spread out.
Oh,
Iota
no.
takes over literally as much table as you can give it, because part of the rules is that you can't like go over the edge of the table. But it's this huge, giant thing. It's like Corkle, but it starts out as a little deck of cards.
I have no idea where my pack of games went, but pack of games.
I still haven't played
those are
any
tiny.
of those, not a single one.
I haven't played any of those either. They're very tiny.
Everything's fine. All I have is, I don't know why.
Nothing is
all I have
broken.
is-
Everything's good.
Yeah, like they're literally like package sized.
Look at my game.
And most of them don't have like a huge footprint. So those are great for travel.
But do they hold up? Like, because the boxes seemed like super tuck boxy, so I was worried about them getting crushed.
Yeah, they have well, I mean, I picked up a little like zippy case for them, which I can't find right now. It's somewhere.
Oh, good point, chat. Yeah, Lost Legacy and Love Letter, those are great travel games.
Right.
Great. Those are really great travel games. I mean, you have to have some sort of counter, I guess, to know how many games that you've won, but you could just kind of keep track or, again, use a die as like a counter or something. But
well, I mean, those cubes are not like if you just have.
no, yeah, they're not
cubes.
huge. Yeah, you could just like hold them too.
We have. I feel like we have more red cubes than we started with that game. Like I think we lost red cubes from another game, and we were like, well, they must be from Love Letter.
So Love Letter now has like more cubes than you'll ever need.
So many cubes.
Well, and I guess that game too. Like you're probably not gonna play that game like while you're actually traveling. Like you're probably not gonna play that game like in a car, on a
Probably
train, on an airplane because you need lots of people to play. Although, man, wouldn't that be amazing if you could get like everyone around you on the plane to play Love Letter? That would be. I would be like, I've made it. I've done it. Like,
I feel like on a plane, 2 rooms and a boom is your brass ring.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean,
maybe
that's your ungettable get because that requires movement.
Also, don't mention the word bomb while you're on an airplane.
Right. Yeah.
That's half the
like,
fun of playing 2 rooms and a boom on a plane. You can't say bomb.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's terrifying. It's like already a terrifying experience for me, and I'm not even in it.
Just rename it like it's skunk instead of a bomb or something like that.
2 rooms and a skunk.
2 rooms and a skunk. Yep. Yeah.
What are some other good travel games? I'm trying to think about what I always carry with me.
Someone mentioned Coup in the chat, which I have traveled with to many
Coup
cons.
is good.
Yeah.
Coup is smaller. It's a smaller like box than Resistance Avalon.
Well, but I just put it in the same fat pack as I put like No Thanks and Colorado and Anomia, Codenames. They all fit in one fat pack.
Yeah.
So I like put like maybe 10 games or something in the same fat pack. And Coup was one of the easiest ones to bring out because it has reference cards and so few of those do.
Yeah. I do really love Rebellion G54 though because it's so customizable and that is a lot more cards.
Yeah, but I only liked some of them, so I got to kind of
That's true. You can cherry pick. Well, I think I like most of them. I just don't like some combinations together. So I don't like to do fully random. Like I don't like to just pick from the finance one and then from this track and whatever. I don't, because some of them, if you end up with those like 2 starting cards as like this and this, then it's like everyone else is boned, basically. So
here's the other element of travel games I was going to bring up tonight, because I feel like, yes, everyone knows that small card games are good to travel with, but how do you get like games home from a con if you don't live near there.
You ruined the boxes like I did with Prospectus.
My Norenberg has a giant hole in it, but that's okay.
Yeah, it's squashed. I put it in my bag. I was so glad to take it home because it's Prospectus and it's awesome. And actually, I really wanted to brag about it to Suze because I know that she really wants it. But she's not here. She'll watch this later.
It? No, I have it. I should lord it over her so she'll have a game night with me.
No. We have to. This is our thing. This is our thing. We have to. Yeah, we have to hold it over her head. And, like, you don't have this.
I managed to get the Advent calendar home from BGG Con without breaking it down.
That's amazing.
Really?
Also.
It was my personal item on the plane.
Wow, and so you're just like...
It's mine. You can't have it.
I put Prospectus in my bag because I had... Hi, Cashmere. I had extra room in my bag, and I had done that on purpose. I was like, in case I want to get games or whatever from Origins, I'm going to leave some space. But it got #wrecked on the plane or whatever, or they like played like games with my luggage and like tossed it around. So the box is super squished, and it's a little bit of a bummer, but that's not really a deal breaker for me. I'm fine with that. My games, though, it's personality. They have personality.
And honestly, if you like the game, it doesn't matter. If you were trying to trade it or sell it 2 months after you got it, that's a big deal. But someone even mentioned in the chat, so when you go to Essen to bring back games for something like a con, like a little con in Seattle that might have happened, and Daryl Andrews might have been doing this last year, they just break down the boxes, like rip the seams in the corners. They take all the components out and put them in little baggies and like everything, like 50 games fit in the space that 4 games would fit normally. Wow. It's pretty amazing to watch. My friend Tom did it a couple years ago when I was at Essen, and I was watching him put little like plastic bags into his backpack, and you just couldn't imagine the 100 games that were in that backpack because he had just been labeling plastic bags. It was amazing.
That's intense. Wow.
I haven't gotten to that point for my personal collection because splitting the seams on the boxes is like, I don't know. It might be too far for me, but we'll see.
I don't know if I'd be able to do that or not.
It's pretty amazing to watch, though.
Traveling, bringing games back from cons is definitely, tough. Because so I got Garbage Day from Mayday, and I'm like, what do I...
Oh, that's a little, like, tin.
And it's actually in, like, a little garbage thing, and I'm like... And it's kind of an odd size, but it ended up being great because I could put it in my carry-on, so I just put it in my bag. So.
Oh, right.
And it, like, won't be crushed because it's in, like, a solid, container. So. And that's actually cool. That's actually not... It seems weird, but that's actually not a bad travel game either because the game board is the game container. You stack the cards on the garbage, like, pail thing that it all comes. So that's actually not a bad travel game either.
And they were mentioning in the chat putting your laundry inside of games to try and, like, puff them up. Yeah. I've totally done that. Like, my dirty-ass laundry.
You guys are beyond me. You guys are, like, next level.
Yeah. So I get screwed over. Seattle's really expensive to fly in and out of, like hundreds of dollars more than flying anywhere else. So you really have to economize when you're traveling. But I've definitely like punched out games and tried to fit games inside of games. And if there's room, because I know that room is where things are gonna bounce around and cause havoc, that's when I'll like shove shirts in there, like trying to like stop that.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did coming home from Australia.
I definitely bring less clothes to conventions.
Oh, I have exactly as many clothes as I need. It's not like any other vacation.
See, and that is not, and that goes like that goes beyond. It is so funny hiding behind this pandemic. I'm sorry. What is she doing? So funny. So. Yeah, like you guys are beyond me. So I'm used to packing extra clothes, like preparing for any situation. So that's like a new thing for me to just pack what I need. But now that I'm doing stuff for BGG, it's pretty easy because I just wear
the jersey. Yeah.
BGG jersey. So that's pretty good, actually.
Nice.
It is the same jersey, everybody, but I wear a different undershirt underneath.
Yeah, I'm volunteering for a company during Gen Con this year, which I don't normally do. I just thought it'd be fun to like have one day where I was at a place. But they were like, here's your dress requirements. I'm like, those sound really heavy, and
Wow.
they're going to take up way too much space in my luggage. Like, a polo shirt? Are you kidding me? So,
excuse me?
We'll see what happens if I show up in a tank and the skirt, and they can kick me out if they want. That'll be fine.
Man, it's tough.
I want to properly represent them, but I have to, like, get my stuff back to Seattle.
I think I'm going to not buy games at Gen Con.
Right, yeah, you say that now. That's cute. You know what's not easy to travel with is any kind of gaming miniature. So,
yeah.
Right.
Infinity, Warhammer, War Machine and Hordes, Drop Zone Commander. None of those are
miniatures
easy to travel
are really hard because they have all those freaking wings.
Yeah, so, right, so I play Legion of Everblight in War Machine and Hordes, and they're all of the, like, winged things, and, I mean, they're all kind of, I guess, tough to transport, but mine in particular, I feel like, 'cause I have a bunch of, like, dragons and stuff, are just not great, and I've broken things, and I want to travel with them better. I don't have a battle phone box. I do, like, kind of...
I guess that would help, yeah.
It would, but those are so huge, though. Yeah. I mean, you can get a small one, but then it's like, okay, now I have this tiny battle phone box that will hold, like, one army, you know? So... it's kind of better to have the bigger ones, but once you have the bigger one, then you've got to bring the whole thing. So you can't just I guess you could somehow try and just bring a tray. I don't know. Maybe put it on your luggage. But yeah, so I have like a little box, and I put like I have this like stuffing and like foam and stuff in there to like make it. Just move that cat. So that hopefully they don't break, but it's really hard to...
So have you thought about, like, I don't know how many minis are in an army, but, like, stringing them together and wearing them as a festive necklace to get through TSA?
I mean, I do have my Drop Zone Commander earrings.
You do? Those are so cute. I love those.
Those are really great.
They're amazing.
So for a game like War Machine and Hordes, it's less because it's more of a skirmish game than Warhammer, where you have like armies and armies, like tons of like minions. Same thing with Infinity so it's less, but also the figures that you have are more expensive. So
I don't know. Infinity is pretty cheap to get into.
No, no, they're both. I use the word. I just mean like each model, you know. Because if you have like a group of like Warhammer models, like some of those like whole units are like
one of the smallest ones you're gonna put together. It's like almost
too. Yeah, Malifaux also. Yeah. So, but you spend this time, you know, painting and putting these together, and you don't want them to break, and so.
No. I've noticed over the last maybe 1 to 3 months, there's been board game bag Kickstarters. So there's one right now that's like kind of tote bags. I think that's like for pickup at Gen Con, and then there were the
Game Canopy and
Game Canopy, yeah.
There was another one which was like this organization system where you took them out of the boxes and you put them in these bags.
Yeah. And you like zip it up, and it's like a little folio. So there's a lot of people who are kind of trying to corner the market, I think, in that kind of travel for games where people are loading stuff up to like hop on the subway or like throw it in their car and drive to their game night or whatever. I know a lot of people who have it's like a zip-up blue IKEA bag with like a little wheelie trolley that it sits on, so they use that as their like game night transport. I usually just throw stuff in a tote bag as I'm
Yeah,
in.
I have a tote bag that I usually throw stuff in,
Yeah.
and whenever I go to cons and stuff, I put them in like my backpack or
Yeah.
whatever. So.
I carry a couple totes in my luggage for cons, so I can like carry things around. But
Yeah.
at home, I either carry one tote bag or I put together my like canvas parachute bag, which is like no
Yeah.
joke. Like you could fit 8 medium-sized Fantasy Flight games plus a bunch of little games on the sides,
Yeah.
and
Because
it
it's
carries just
basically like
fine.
a giant, like 3D rectangle, right? Like you could fill it with Ticket
Right.
to Ride,
And it's
and
canvas, so it's water resistant because I'm in Seattle, and it's ginormous. Like you would never need more than that for a single day. And I carry that with me to most like small cons and stuff like that
yeah,
over here.
that's I've thought about like getting something like that to go to like the day long cons that are here in Toronto, because I've seen people recommend those as like a good
Well,
option because they're just like the right size basically.
yeah, they're like $23, $25 compared to the $150 that I've been seeing on those Kickstarters. People
Yeah.
are paying obscene amounts
So
for these
much.
things.
I mean,
Yeah.
they're really nicely designed, and they're like by
Sure.
people who know games, et cetera, et cetera. But like, I don't know if I can justify it, especially seeing as I don't really take more than like for most game nights, unless I'm going to like a con that's a day long or more in the local area. I'm not going to take more than a couple of games, so I'll just throw it in a tote bag and it's fine. Um, but I mean, traveling to the gathering is a different matter because we have a car and we just like fill fill the trunk with games, especially coming back after the flea market. So, you know,
BGG has a flea market, but it's
yeah,
one that's like super kind of awkward to be in. I don't know if you guys have been in it before, but it's like
no,
literally not enough people or not enough space in for that many people, and it was like super uncomfortable for me the 2 times I've done it.
yeah, I don't
I
like
don't
that
do
kind
that
of
one
crowd.
anymore.
Yeah. I mean, I know I'm like it's hilarious because I'm going to Gen Con and it's like the crowded
But
thing.
it's not that kind of crowded. It's
It's not
really
that it's
not.
different. It's a different kind of crowded. So like I picked up a game from my partner at the virtual flea market, and that was way easier because it's like all organized beforehand, and you just go and pick up your game, and it's all good. Like you don't have to try and kind of edge your way around people and see what's going on at tables and stuff. So I feel like that was a lot easier.
Yeah, I'm much more happy to like arrange those types of trades and stuff outside.
Yeah.
That's how I got my copy of Luna a couple years ago. I was like, I traded with some dude, and he met me, and we exchanged games and stuff outside of that. It was much better.
Mm.
Speaking of, I feel like we're probably going to wrap it up. We aim for about a 90-minute show, but I wanted to say again, for those just joining us, Games on the Rocks, we are going to go live as many Fridays as we can, but it's probably going to be about every other Friday. And it'll just be us talking about either a topic that is relevant, a discussion that's topical, or just something that we want to talk about, like tonight, we're talking about travel games, and we will feature a cocktail. So tonight's cocktail is, I'll show it for you guys, the Blushing Pig cocktail, 2 ounces of orange juice, 2 ounces of gin, a tablespoon of simple syrup, 4 ounces of pink grapefruit juice, a splash of seltzer, and you put it in a travel cup, because we're talking about travel top games, and that was our nod to Oink Games, because they are kind of really amazing at the travel game. They're like on point with it. So
We love you, Oink Games.
I think do you guys have any like last things that you want to say, like for travel games? Do you
I don't think so.
any like last words about travel games? Gidget, do you have?
I want all of us here and all of us in the chat to go bother Corey Young and to make
for the Bravwell,
I-
the wooden travel.
He's the one that put it on Twitter. He's
Bravwell.
the one that showed me what was possible. It is his fault.
I saw him at Origin, and I did not. used that time foolishly to give him a hug, and I should have said, "Hey, man, what's up with that travel Gravwell?"
I met
what I
him
should have used
in
that
Gen
time.
Con 2014, and he gave me an awesome business card that punched out to be a die, which is
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
But shortly thereafter, he tweeted about Gravwell that was a travel edition, and I want it.
Can we just call it Travwell? Like, let's
That's what
just
it's
settle
called.
down.
We talked about that. We talked about calling it Travwell.
That's what he calls it.
Like
But
an insane. You look
at
like
no
an
point
insane
was he
person.
gonna
Get out of
make
here,
it.
you cat.
Ugh.
Okay, so I travel with a lot of games. I travel with big games and I travel with small games. I put big games in a tote and I put small games in my quiver and I am ready to go. And I travel locally. My FLGS is luckily like 5 minutes away, so that's not far. And we all have those games that we keep in our car. You don't have to say it. You don't have to mention it. But I know you. And you've got games in your car right now. Gidget knows.
I don't have a car, so I'm not sure what to say here.
You have them. They're in there, though. They're in there. They're in there, though. I feel like they're in there. Toronto's in the U.S. Toronto's in the U.S. and you have games in your car.
Yeah.
Those are like two truths that I know. So I think that might be pretty much it for our show. So our next show will be 14 days from now.
The 23rd.
Which is is it the 23rd or the 22nd?
23rd. 22nd, I mean.
Sure it's the 22nd?
It is the 22nd.
I hope it's the 22nd because that's the outro picture that I made.
It is the 22nd.
I
can't read a calendar properly.
Well, you've had a blushing pig or two, so that's okay.
And I don't know after that how it's gonna go because the week after that is while us three at least are at Gen Con.
But what I want to say is that we might be able to do this from Gen Con.
Yes.
We might be able to do this from Gen Con.
So
this is all true things.
That would be super exciting because then
how fun would that be?
We could make it a Gen Con / Gen Can't hookup.
Well, and I have a GoPro that I need to learn how to use.
I do too. So, and regardless, we're all gonna be at Gen Con and we're gonna be doing some things. But we hope that you join us in those things. Those things might be Games on the Rocks. I don't know.
Maybe.
If it is though, it may not be a Friday though. Might be another night. I don't know.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll see. But thank you, everyone, for joining us. Make sure that if you are not following us already, if you would click on the heart, which is down here, click on that, and then you'll be notified whenever we go live. So right now, all that we're doing live is Games on the Rocks every other Friday-ish. But we might do more live shows. We might do some live gameplays of us in our various local areas. So Nicole might be live in Toronto, Max and Susan the Seattle area, and then myself in Arkansas, which that's really interesting. So we might do more stuff, but definitely make sure that you click the heart over here and follow the channel so that you are notified when we go live. We'll go live on YouTube also, if that works out better for you, but we're only monitoring the Twitch chat just because we want to focus on one, and we think that the Twitch community is pretty amazing, and you guys have all been really supportive of us, and we appreciate that. So I think that's pretty much it, though. I'm constantly trying to improve and work on the stream. Oh my God, Gidget is so upset right now. So if you have any suggestions on just like production value, things that we can do, sound, whatever, then definitely let me know. I am at Insert Straw here, so you can follow me on Twitter, send me a DM, tweet at me, whatever. But Meeples Included, which is the bigger picture here, is at Meeples Included on Twitter and on Facebook. And you're on that Twitch right now. So that is a website and community of us and a bunch of other people talking about tabletop games and just with a mindfulness of inclusivity and diversity. So I think that's
we love y'all.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't know. We need like a. Oh, you know what? I made a cheers. I wrote a cheers, and I don't remember it, and I have to.
Aw.
I wrote it. I'll have to say it next time. But I wrote.
Okay.
I wrote a little like toast, a little cheers, and we'll do it next time at the beginning of the show. But if you can think of a cool toast or cheers, then send us your suggestions and send us your drink recipes at
Yes,
Meeples Included on
please.
Twitter. So
All right.
that's it. That's it. I'm just. This beautiful graphic image is what everyone's going to see
Well,
right
good
now.
to see you all. Thanks for coming out.
Thanks for coming out. You're the best. Gonna play some music now and mute everyone.